Good afternoon, everyone. In today's session, you will understand how to set up the product classification. So here is our agenda. The objective enables you to understand the product classification and its associated terms in the context of business processes. Prerequisites for generating the product classification in the Onfinity ERP are that a configured tenant is required in your environment. Organizations are configured in your tenant. Document types for production order and production execution are defined in the system. Next, let's understand what is a production classification. Production classification defines the rules and structure for manufacturing processes. It determines the document types used, the type of production such as standard, repair, or refurbish, and how quantities are issued during production. It also specifies whether quantities are issued for the full production, per operation, or across multiple operations. Additionally, it allows the scrap to be posted separately when required. Let's move on to the system and define a production classification. To define the production classification, you can search the manufacturing setup window from the search utility available in the menu. Or you can directly click on manufacturing. Click on manufacturing setup, and under that the manufacturing setup window is available. Click on the production classification, and the system will open the production classification window. Click on New Record. Select for which organization you are defining the production classification. Enter the name. Select the document type. If these are not defined, then you need to define them. Let's zoom and define. Click on New Record. Select your production work order. If it is a document control, zoom to document sequence. Click on New Record and save. For more details about document type and document sequence, you can refer to the video of document type and document sequence. Save this record. Similarly, click on New Record. Define for production execution. The production type defines whether it is for standard production or whether it is for repair or refurbish. In our case, it is standard. Then how you want to issue the quantity. You want to issue the quantity based on multiple operations. Select the multi-operation release. If it is for a single operation, operation by operation, then select the operation quantity. If it is for the entire production order containing multiple operations and you want to issue everything in one shot, then select production quantity. In our case, it is going to be operation quantity. Here, one point or one of the important point is once any production order is created and then the components have been issued thereafter, you won't be able to change the quantity issuance or any other details in this production classification. So here it is pretty important that you define it correctly so that later on you do not need to make changes. Since any transaction process thereafter, the system won't allow you to change these details. If you want to post the scraps separately, then mark Post Scraps separately. Active represents that this record is active and used for creating the production order. Enter a little description if required. Save this record. At the Accounting tab, if you want to define certain accounting rules, then you would be able to define those accounting rules here. However, with the default manufacturing, you are not using this tab. But if needed by somebody, they can define the ledger codes and later on can amend the account localization to define the rules so that the posting will be done by the system. Presently, you are not into the default manufacturing. You are not utilizing this tab, but it is there if you want to define your rules and if you want to define some ledger codes and if you want to post based on a certain transaction. So that is how you can define it. That is how you can define how to create the production classification. That's all in this video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.